Let's be real. Most skinny guys love going to the gym. You will train for hours, push yourself in the gym, but when it comes to eating enough to grow, all in a sudden, you just fall apart. I know this because I was in the exact position when I started training. Back when I started lifting weight, I was under 70 kilos. I had fast metabolism and I had a slight taller frame. And no matter how hard I trained, I wasn't gaining any weight. I tried to bulk, but it just felt like I was force-feeding myself. I felt like vomiting, I was nauseous, I was tired all the time, and the worst part, my skin was breaking. All that effort that I put in and the scale wasn't moving at all. If this sounds like you, I promise you there's a better way to do it. Now, how do you actually bulk up with a small appetite? Before we dive into the exact strategy, I need to clear up one massive misconception. And that is, you can definitely build muscle in a maintenance calories, or even in a slight calorie deficit if you're a beginner. However, if you've been training for a while after the new begins, and your strength is not going up, and there's no improvement on the overall muscle size, then you have to be in a calorie surplus, but you have to do this in the right way. That simply means you need to be eating more calories than you burn every single day. But here is where a lot of people mess up. They think bulking means you have to be eating 24/7 non-stop. That's not what a smart bulking looks like. Your body can only use small amount of extra calorie each day for actual muscle growth. Now, if you go too far above that, all you are doing is just putting on fat. Now, here's a quick check. If you're adding 1 to 2 pounds every single month, that means you're in the right direction. You're actually building muscle. However, if the scale hasn't been moving for several weeks and you're not making any progress with your strength, and most importantly, your physique still looks the same, that's a clear sign that you need to start adding more calories to your diet. Now, here's my top 5 secrets to bulking with a small appetite. Number 1 is increasing your fat intake. Most skinny guys think bulking means eating more protein. But here's the thing. Once you're eating anywhere from 0.8 to 1.1 gram of protein per pound per body weight, that's all you need for maximal muscle growth. And anything beyond that, you won't build extra muscle. And the other thing is that protein is very filling, which is the opposite of what you want if you have a small appetite. Now, the smarter move is to increase your dietary fat intake. You see, fat contains 9 calories per gram, which is more than carbohydrates and protein, which simply means you can get more calories with less volume. For example, a handful of almonds is about 200 calories. 1 tablespoon of olive oil is about 100 calories. And 1 cup of coconut milk is over 500 calories. Now, this is a game changer if you're a small guy that's trying to build muscle and you have a very poor appetite. Number 2 is control street foods. And here's a controversial one. It's okay to eat a bit of junk food while bulking. If 80% of your food comes from natural nutrient-dense food, 20% of the time you can eat whatever you want. And the reason why I recommend you eating junk foods 20% of the time is because they are very calorie dense and they will make it easier for you to put on weight instead of just focusing on just nutrient dense foods. Because most of the time, if you're just eating nutrient dense food, most of the foods don't have a lot of calories. If you're just eating broccoli and chicken, there's not a lot of calories in that. So instead, if you just add a little bit of junk food or fast food on the side, that can make it easier for you to put on weight if your goal is to bulk up. Now remember, you only have to do this 20% of the time. You have to make sure 80% of the time all your food comes from nutrient-dense food. Number 3 is liquid calories. This tip saved me earlier on my days when I started training. And that's because as a skinny guy with a small appetite, liquid calories tend to be more easier to consume compared to solid foods. And here's my protein shake recipe that I was using when I started training with 1,000 calories and 80 grams of protein. You can either take one of these shakes a day, or if you're really struggling with a poor appetite, just make it 2. And you can easily hit 2,000 calories a day. Number 4 is swap your low-calorie foods. And that's because sometimes it's not about adding more food. It's about replacing your foods with high-calorie options. Instead of just eating lean chicken breasts, go for a chicken thigh because it tends to have more calories. And instead of just eating white fish, go for salmon because it tends to have more fat, which in return, it has more calories. Even with fruits and veggies, you can still make smart choices. You can start eating banana or mango instead of berries because berries doesn't have a lot of calories. Or dried fruits like raisin or apricots, which also tend to have a lot of calories. You see, when you are cutting, you want high volume and low calories. But when you are bulking, you need to do the opposite if you actually want to build muscle. And tip number 5 and the last one is manage your schedules. If you're a skinny guy and you are really busy, timing your meals is crucial. Now, the best thing that you can do is meal prepping. Take one day off on your weekends when you are not working, when you have free time, and then take that time to cook all your meals and meal prep so that you don't have to overthink or worry about cooking every single day. That's probably one of the best things that you can do, especially if you're a busy guy with a small appetite. Alright guys, so that's the end of the video. I hope you guys get a lot of value from this. Now, if you have any question about bulking, Just drop your question in the comment below. I answer every single comment. And if you want a one-to-one coaching with me, I'll put a link in the description. Click on the link, book a one-to-one call with me, and I will see how I can help. For the meantime, I will see you in the next video.